Yes, it's time for Cup of Tech Gumbo. And my facial recognition tells me Haggai Davis is sitting to my left. What's happening, dude?
I'm going to be leaving here, going pick up a king cake.
Darn right you are.
Because it is the day.
So, yes, it is. All bets are off now. Like, it's just try them all. Stuffed, not stuffed. Fried like a donut, however you like it. I'm a traditionalist in what I like, but I don't judge.
We start with the cream cheese every year.
Okay. If you're swinging back up Nicholson before heading back out again, I recommend swinging by Mathern's right there across the street from Tiger Stadium. Fantastic king cakes over there.
May just do that.
All right. We got to start off with a story out of New Orleans via the Associated Press from earlier in the week. Louisiana authorities' use of facial recognition technology led to the mistaken identity arrest of a Georgia man on a fugitive warrant, an attorney said in a case that renews attention to racial disparities in the use of the digital tool. Facial recognition is racist.
Yes, it is.
All right. 28-year-old Randall Reed was jailed back in late November in DeKalb County, Georgia, according to the Times-Picayune. His attorney, Tommy Calagaro, said authorities erroneously linked Reed to purse thefts in Jefferson Parish and Baton Rouge. So he was in jail from November 25th through December 1st, all from facial recognition not seeing him. What's the problem with facial recognition? Like, why are they not getting this right?
Okay, so to start with, and we've talked about it here many, many times, facial recognition was created by white guys, and they used pictures of white guys to create this whole thing. Mm-hmm. And they've not done a good job of having even white women. It doesn't do very well with that. Black people, it is a horrible record of being accurate. And this poor guy, he was going through somewhere in Atlanta, and the facial recognition software saw him and linked him back to a crime in New Orleans. They extradited him to New Orleans, and the guy was like, wait, why are you taking? I've never been to Louisiana before.
You got to give the exact quote, because the exact quote is hilarious.
Yeah.
They told me I had a warrant out of Jefferson Parish. I said, what is Jefferson Parish?
Yes. I mean, this guy is... So the guy has a big mole on his face.
Money. Sorry.
It did not... The facial recognition software, that image did not have a mole. This guy was 40 pounds heavier than the person that they were looking for. And yet somehow or another, this software, this facial recognition, linked this poor guy in DeKalb, Georgia, to something going on in Jefferson Parish.
Now, follow-up question here. Is there any blame on Jefferson Parish here? Because from their end, from Joe Lepento's end, he's the sheriff.
He's the sheriff.
Is there anything to... Georgia picks this guy up a facial recognition, calls Joe Lepento. Joe Lepento picks up the phone. Hey, it's Joe. What's happening? Because that's how he answers the phone. And the guys in Georgia say, "We've got your guy."
If Joe Lepento doesn't say, "Well, send me the picture. Let me look at it. Let me make sure it's the right guy."
Yeah.
Because all he's got to do is go one time. Go. Oh, wait, we're looking for a skinny guy. We're looking for somebody 160 pounds. That 210-pound dude with the bowl on his face, that's not who we're looking for.
So there is some level of culpability here.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, facial recognition is
because if another law enforcement agency tells me we've got your guy, I'm like, all right, cool.
Cool, yeah.
Send him down.
Right. Bring him on.
Excellent.
We'll get the extradition papers going. We'll have somebody team up there in the next couple of weeks to pick him up for you. Facial recognition is not ready for prime time. And, oh, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention, the TSA is rolling this out in airports across the country.
It's going to be a mess.
It's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
You're going to have... Franz is going to have a whole lot to talk about on court TV.
Yes, he will. So... follow-up question. You say it's not ready for prime time. Will it be?
So there's a second story we talked about on the show. There was a woman in New York City who is an attorney, and she works for a very big law firm. This law firm is suing Madison Square Garden Entertainment. Now, she's not part of the team that's actually suing Madison Square Garden Entertainment, But she was, right before Thanksgiving, taking her daughter along with a bunch of other women and Girl Scouts to go to Radio City Music Hall to go see the Christmas Spectacular.
The Rockettes.
The Rockettes. And I don't know if she didn't know, but I didn't know the Radio City Music Hall is owned by Madison Square Garden Entertainment. But Madison Square Garden Entertainment had sent the law firm saying, hey, since you're suing us, none of your employees are allowed on any of the Madison Square Garden Entertainment grounds or entertainment venues. Well, this woman didn't know any. She's taking her daughter to go see the Rockettes.
Right.
They have facial recognition software running inside Radio City Music Hall. This woman walking through the door, two bouncers walk up to her, call her by her name before she can even say, I am whoever. They said, Miss Conlon, you'll have to leave. Your law firm is suing Madison Square Garden Entertainment. And she was like, but I'm not. Your law firm is, so you have to leave.
So a couple of interesting points about that. Number one, I don't think she bought her tickets with cash, right?
Who knows?
Just making the assumption.
It could have been the Girl Scout troop bought them.
Well, okay, that's possible as well. I didn't think about that end. Because I'm thinking if she made a transaction, then they would have had her name via the transaction. Let's not get all the way to the point where she's at the door. But the other part of that is we got to go back to the part where the facial recognition worked.
It did work for that. But, you know, if you go to because we went to the website for this law firm, and there's her picture right there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she's not an unattractive person, but it's not like it's a very descriptive picture.
Yeah.
So they had to have been building a profile for all of the attorneys who work for this firm to be able to recognize right away. Because one simple picture should not be enough for the AI to work that well.
So we need to talk about, and we got a break here, but when we come back, and probably a little bit during the break as well, we need to talk about what it would take to get AI to where it needs to be, what goes into building that, how rudimentary is the actual build, because I think it's a lot simpler than a lot of us would imagine. In the meanwhile, he's Haggai Davis. We do a Cup of Tech Gumbo right here every Friday, Saturday and Sunday at 4 for the full serving. Quick break, Your Money Now, back at it next. All right, so...
That's the one I sent you in bronze, and I was like, I don't know if this is a bronze or Haggai question. That ain't right.
And Galen, I said that too. It has just as much of a problem with white women. It's not just that it doesn't recognize black people or Asian people or Latino or Middle Eastern. I mean, it doesn't recognize anybody other than white guys.
Right.
Because that's who did all the programming. Facial recognition is very difficult. It's not an easy thing to create because there's so many nuances in the for it to work from the cloud perspective.
Difficult or cumbersome? Or both?
Both. I mean,
okay.
So if you're looking at just the facial recognition that your phone has or your computer for it to wake up, like you touch the screen and it looks at you, go, oh, you know, that's local, that's on your device, and that's your face, so that it doesn't have to compare it to millions and millions of other people. It only has to make sure it's your face.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to pull up something so I can show
But
you.
when you have 8 billion people walking on the planet now, and you know you're randomly walking through an airport, and that software has to compare your face to all of the other faces in the database.
Yeah. So watch this. I'm on TikTok, right? So I'm gonna use this effect. You ready? Create your AI portrait. So I use this effect. I'm gonna put my face in there. Okay, that's the gag. It looks kind of like you, but nothing like it's. So every time we do that, all that is being collected.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
and being stored, you know, in that cloud system,
right?
That database,
right,
is collecting all of that information and building that profile on you.
And that's where we're going to go with the topic. And when we come back, is how much of this is being built out off of our own Instagrams, our own TikToks, our own Snapchat? Well, not Snapchat. Well, maybe Snapchat.
All of it.
Yes. It's also supposed to disappear.
Byron wants to create Karen detectors.
That would be funny. Oh, coming back in, let's see.
I have something pulled up called Mardi Gras in New Orleans by the Olympia Brass Band.
That ain't. All right. That's cool. I want to write the rest of this song for him. Are we going to make it to on time? Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a full 30. All right, cool. 7:15 is when I want carnival time. Probably my favorite song.
This is the only day of the year that I like Mardi Gras music. I don't even like
So
Mardi Gras.
what I would like to see, and you'd have to branch it out beyond Mardi Gras music, but you know how the river plays Christmas music for like from Thanksgiving Day all the way till Christmas? I would like to see that for Mardi Gras. I would love it. And not just the Mardi Gras music, but go like full on party vibe because all the parties surrounding, like I would like to see at least a radio station would go with all of them, with Dr. John, with Rebirth, with Professor Longhair, with the Meters, with Stop Incorporated, like all of it, just feed me on the radio around the clock. And
it's called YouTube.
Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah, I realized that.
I mean, mine's called Spotify. Although you ever bring up a Mardi Gras playlist on Pandora, it sucks.
No, I've not. No,
I like Pandora for my workout.
I like Pandora. I use Pandora.
I do daily.
I walk in and say, Alexa, shuffle my stations from Pandora, and then I start cooking.
Okay. That's fine.
Fine. Grinders allowed. Babe.
Oh, wow, thanks.
This Chat GPT thing is getting bigger and bigger, and there's not enough people talking about it yet.
The what?
The Chat GPT. That's some of the other
Oh,
stories.
we'll get to that one next. Yeah, I want to. The next question I have about building facial recognition is, how do we, if we're finding the wrong guy via, if law enforcement is using it and finding the wrong guy, are we fully utilizing all the images that law enforcement has?
Probably not.
Yeah. .652 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Yes, there will be carnival music all morning long because the season is upon us. Haggai Davis in for a Cup of Tech Gumbo, full serving presented your way at Saturday and Sunday at 4. And, of course, anywhere you get your podcasts, they are available there as well. Haggai, as we continue, I can't close the book on the facial recognition topic yet because I have two more questions.
Okay.
Well, a question and a PSA, basically. My question is about law enforcement. Authorities in DeKalb County arrest this guy and ship him back to Jefferson Parish. As we build facial recognition, is law enforcement fully utilizing the tools at their fingertips in order to contribute to this?
So the easy answer is no, because there's just not enough of a sample size built into the system to fully recognize all the 8 billion faces walking around the earth.
Right. But
And
but most of us have an ID, which means we've taken a picture through the government.
But it's not always about just the flat 2D image that a snapshot is. It's a lot of it has to do with the 3D imaging, and that's what differentiates the facial recognition software. It really needs that 3-dimensional image to really work. And so if all you're doing, you're basing your facial recognition off of a flat 2D snapshot versus the 3D image of the face, that's where you run into problems.
Ooh, 3D driver's license pictures.
There you go.
I'm down for sure. The PSA part of this is, hey, every time we're posting up pics on Instagram, every time we're posting up videos, reels, stories, every time. Have you seen the AI portrait filter on TikTok? It's stupid. I went through probably about 8 of them last night just looking to see how dumb I'd look. Didn't post any of them because they're all awful. But every time you're doing that, it's capturing all those little pinpoints along the way to recognize your face.
And the Chinese government loves looking at you.
Well, they put me in great costumes. So
They do.
the costumes are fantastic. All right. Chat GPT. Tell me all about it.
So this thing is really getting huge. The chat bots in the past, within 24 to 48 hours, all went immediately vile and racist and everything else in the world. But this one's different. This one is built so that you can, and we talked about a week ago, it's software that is so good, it's got Google scared. Because you start doing searches, because Microsoft is testing it now to use in the Bing searches. The way the Chat GPT works, you can ask it a question and it will give you a specific answer. Right now, if you do a Google search, you're going to get 20 pages worth of links that you can go to because Google wants to sell those ads because hopefully you'll click on all those links. Mm-hmm. But if the Chat GPT gives you the exact answer you're looking for, now you don't need all those links that Google gives you. It gives you the answer. And that's what Microsoft is looking at going, hey, this could really revolutionize the way we do searches. Now, there's a story in the Wall Street Journal that came out this morning. OpenAI, which is the company that created ChatGPT, right now, their valuation is $29 billion.
Okay.
And this company is so just scratching the surface of what you can do. I encourage anybody who wants to see it, pull up Chat GPT and go to the bot, create a little account, start asking it questions. This thing is giving amazingly accurate answers. It's also giving wrong answers at times, and you've just got to figure out which one is right. But it's doing so many things. It's got a lot of people very, very nervous about losing their jobs.
Yeah.
Because if you're somebody who does writing for a living, ChatGPT can do it better than you can.
Well, I mean, we've seen this before. We've seen it work and we've seen it fail before.
This one's not failing.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Well,
there's a second story. There's a guy at Princeton University.
Yeah.
He wrote a program called Chat Zero or Zero GPT, something like that. And it's to detect whether or not the story was written by GPT or not.
Imagine being a student trying to fight your way out of that argument. Imagine being a student writing an essay, turning it in, your final grade, and your professor comes back and says, you used Chat GPT to write this. And you say, no, I don't. Well, the Princeton app says you did, so you fail.
And now you've got one AI bot looking at what another AI bot is doing, and you got two AIs competing with one another.
Yeah, and then you've got a real life kid who's going to flunk his class.
Or you got a real life teacher who doesn't know if the student did or didn't actually use an AI bot to create the paper.
All right. So I know this is a deeper question, but is there a way out other than just unplugging everything?
No.
I don't want to end up like Snake Plissken.
This technology journey that we're racing at light speed towards the brick wall with is happening, and there's no way to avoid it. It's coming, and it's going to. AI, I mean, there's another story we're going to be talking about next week on Tech Gumbo, how Microsoft is saying AI is going to change the way we use Windows on our computer. And it's just the artificial intelligence is totally changing everything that we're doing in a day-to-day world, whether you know it or not.
So, Snake Plissken it is. I'll go get my eye patch right now.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Am I going to go to a parade, or is it going to be a bot? Am I going to AI a parade?
Yeah, you're going to sit there in front of your computer screen and watch the floats that the AI generates, and you're going to catch the beads that it generates and throws at your on the screen.
It won't be facial recognition we're seeing out there. Coming your way, presented by Cardinal Capital and General Informatics. Every Friday at this time, Haggai's in the house with us. Appreciate you, brother.
Anytime.
Absolutely. We got to get you to the ABC News.